You get lost if you go with the content. What gives us safety is looking at the process, get a joint view on the process, look at the effects, and then figure out, is that what you want to happen? And what do you feel better with?
Welcome to Every Part of Us. We're two psychologists named Ruth from opposite sides of the world who are passionate about Schema Couples Therapy.
This model provides a powerful and unique toolkit to help therapists work with complexity in couples. Research says that an important feature of successful couples therapy is the capacity for couples to really start to see themselves in a different way. So rather than you never listen to me or you always criticize me, couples therapy that works to provide a new lens is really helpful for partners to untangle from conflicts and really understand the patterns and build empathy towards each other. But how do you do that? One of the ways we do that in Schema Couples Therapy is really using the body and chair work to create more capacity for couples to see themselves. We literally get people to step outside of their unhelpful patterns, moving on into other chairs in the room, standing up and seeing themselves from above. And today, Eckhart Roediger is with us to talk about the stand-up technique that he uses as part of Schema Couples Therapy. So yeah, Eckhart's going to share with us a lovely technique to do that today.
And Eckhart's background, is as a neurologist and a psychiatrist and psychotherapist. He's done a lot of work in developing schema therapy model. He's got great understanding of couples and done research, written books. He's a real expert in this field. So we are so pleased to have you here with us, Eckhart, today.
Welcome.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure, and thanks for your invitation. We're going to see what we will achieve here now.
Yeah, well, it's great to have you on the show, Eckhart.
And I guess maybe just to start off, from your perspective, what was it that helped you to develop the technique that we're talking about today? Where did that come from for you?
To split the person up from a dysfunctional part, the maladaptive behavior, and the functional parts with the needs that once started the relationship in a good way. So splitting up is a very important schema therapy technique. It's not specific for schema therapy. Gestalt people do that as well, or psychodrama people. But it's coming from these experiential techniques, and it brings much more life to the therapy, to interact with different chairs, because it breaks the accustomed patterns. Going into a conflict, arguing, talking back and forth is what we do all the time. But standing up, looking at the chairs, diffuse, take an observer stance, brings the clients into an entirely different mindset. And something happens in the therapy room which is totally different from what they do all the time. And this pattern breaking is a good starting point to open up their mind for something new, to get all this information into your brain and not reject it. Because if you are finding yourself in your accustomed states, in neurobiology, we call it the priors from your default mode network. This is what you do all the time, and you grow accustomed to it. That's you. But if you break these patterns, and we do that all the time when we go to a vacation, when we go to anything, to a theater, we want to get some new input, and then we are open for it. But at home, if we battle with our partners, we don't want to change anything. We just want to push the things through. So pattern breaking, perspective change, opening up the mind to something new is a good starting point to change the content, the patterns of your brain, and lay the tracks for a new behavior. And it needs this cut in the automatic pilot behavior. And this is beautifully done with these experiential techniques. Could be imagery, which is a journey into your own mind, but in an experiential way, like an expedition to unknown territory. Or you use these chair techniques to actually float above the chairs and get the complex contextual view in it. Broaden your scope like a wide angle lens of a camera, instead of focusing on the toilet seat that hasn't been put down. Or several times, again and again, you'd never put your toilet seat down. This is a hyper-focused look at your life, Life is more than a toilet seat, But if a couple argues, it becomes the most important thing in their life. And getting, hey, what do you have this relationship? What is the purpose of this relationship? Arguing about toilet seats? I guess there's more. And this movement is much easier if you stand up and look at the chairs down there, and the couple can join as an observer team towards this scenery down there. So this helps a lot.
Sort of that real joining force is stepping out of the automatic pilot and really creating change, really radically stepping outside. And what do you think is really valuable? Because this is something very unique, I guess, to the schema model, that we have this idea of a healthy adult way of relating, don't we, in a couple? And I wondered if you could sort of explain a bit about how this translates, this idea of joining together, being allying against the cycle, this position of health.
So I think something like a healthy adult is not actually a specificity of schema therapy. It's part of many models. So the idea that there's an automatic pilot level where behavior is just executed without reflection, and there needs to be a view or a level of considering what you're doing, getting something into consciousness that has been done automatically. So changing between these two levels, I think this is a general move in psychotherapy. And we have, with the healthy adult mode, we have a nice wording to this concept. And it's essentially part of the acceptance and commitment therapy processes. The functional processes in ACT of the psychological model, psychological flexibility model, are features that we would assign to healthy adult mode. So I think this is a convergent zone of all models promoting change, is changing from the automatic behavior-driven level to a slowed down process of reflection, choices, and initiating new action. And this is how we word it, that we need mode awareness first. We call it mode awareness because a mode is the state you're in right now. And the healthy adult mode is the opposite of the automatic pilot mode. And mode awareness, getting aware what you are doing right now and doing in terms of what you feel, emotions in your body, beliefs, voices in your head, and impulse to react, which is the starting point of behavior. These are the three components from CBT models as well. And we need to be aware of what you're doing to get a foot in the door and stop the train running. It's the first move, and it needs mode awareness. What are you doing? Or what is my current state right now? Then change from this doing mode, that's another wording from Sindel Siegel, shift out of the doing mode into a being mode. Give yourself a break. And slowing down is part of healthy adult mode. And after mode awareness, you can, and this is what we do with standing up. The body move mirrors the mental move, or anticipates and supports the mental move. Because when you sit in your chair, you're sitting in your automatic pilot. This is the state you're in. And if you shift the body, the brain gets a signal from the body, hey, something is changing. And in terms of flexibility or movability, if you sit on a chair, you're kind of trapped on that chair. You can't move very much. But if you stand up, you can move in the room. So the body signals, I have space to move. I'm not trapped. And the third part is that if you look down on the chairs, you raise above it. So there's a mental movement in rising above the problems down there, and you put yourself in an observer position to yourself. So you diffuse or decenter, as Aaron Beck called it, you decenter from your accustomed perspective, and all these components together. And the last part is, sorry, if you stand up there and talk about the chairs with your clients, you can talk in third person about Tom and Betty. We use Tom and Betty on the chairs. And this supports decentering as well, because third person language puts a distance between you and the part you're looking at it. And it could be a part of yourself. So this is decentering on the verbal level, talking about yourself in third person. So this all comes together to support this first step of self-observing, and in the same time distancing. And this is part of regaining flexibility. And when you move to this complex contextual view, you are free in the spatial way. You can look at the other person, you can look at parts of yourself, you can split yourself up, get the full picture. And on a timely level, this is a diachronic view. You can wind the video back. Okay, but last week or in the beginning of your relationship, how did you feel at the beginning? What was Tom doing? How did Betty react in the early years of this relationship? Or other way, what will happen if they go on like that forever until they die? Do you really want to see them doing that? How does it make you feel seeing Tom and Betty going on and on and on for the rest of their life? You can take a best friend perspective. Invite the best friend into the standing up position, looking down at Tom and Betty and said, hey, you know Tom and Betty well. How do you feel seeing them arguing all the time? And the trick is, if you address yourself to a best friend and really say, Mary, could you please come here? Okay, Mary, you're the good friend of Betty. Did she talk with you? What did you say to her? And if you address the client this way, again, this is splitting up. This activates brain patterns related with Mary. So Betty shifts somehow from her Betty has to fight for her life networks in the relationship to, oh, Mary always told me that this is bullshit. So you address the client in a way that you push the button to access different networks, because there are so many networks in the brain. And when we are fighting, we are hyper-focused. Our sympathetic activation by nature hyper-focuses us into that state and on the toilet seat, And this is also biologically driven. When you are in a sympathetic stance, you exclude irrelevant information, what your current state regards as irrelevant. By nature, you exclude this information, and this biases you into your view and makes and communication or a perspective change very, very difficult. So this standing up thing is essential to get the full view, to diffuse, get the full picture. And the last step, the third step after mode awareness, mode balance, we call it mode balance because balancing means getting the whole picture. And finally, balance your need. We only have two most relevant needs if it comes to interaction, and that's the attachment need, connecting with people with the idea of building groups to survive. This is the biological driver of the attachment need, is building groups because groups in the past were helped to survive. And so this is not about love, it's about survival. And on the other side, you have the assertiveness need that helps you to get more autonomous, more self-centered, to maybe get a good place in life. And this needs to be balanced, because if you're too much on your autonomy, assertiveness lag, you lose connection with other people. They might not like you and kick you out of the group. That's what we do if we imprison people. They are too selfish. They violate the needs of the group, and then we kick them out and put them into prison. And on the other side, if you're too much with the group, you might sacrifice your identity, your own potential developments. So you need to be balanced. And this is why we call it mode balance. And in the standing up position, it's much easier to get the full picture and look at the Betty down there and say, okay, is Betty more on the attachment side? Is she too much giving in? Because her fear maybe make her too willing to give in and submit. And then she might get depressed or exhausted or feels abused. So how about the assertiveness side? What does she need to connect with her innate anger power? Because the anger is the driver of assertive behavior, and the fear, the constructive fear, is the driver of cooperation. So we need to get the client into the balance. And you could, for example, go into a best day image and ask Betty in a standing up position, okay, down there, the Betty is trapped in her vulnerability. But now let's have a look. If you look, give me an image of your best day. How do you want your life to be? Feel the energy in your body in the standing up position. Feel all your power. You can move. You're an adult person. Give me an image of your best day with Tom. And this might release some of her assertive side, some constructive ideas, how she wants her life to be, getting out of this imprisoned position on the chair where she's so anxious. And you could even, this is a good way we do it with couples. This is the time projection part, because the best day is in the future. So you see that this flexibility on a time level also releases parts of the person which is trapped on the chair.
So one of the things that you're assuming as you're talking to therapists about helping couples to stand up, take that healthy adult perspective, you're kind of, assuming and hoping that therapists will be able to get the couple to stand up, that the couple are not going to, unite against the therapist or stay stuck in their coping mode, in their frustration and their anger. What are some of the traps you find when you're teaching this standing up technique to therapists? What are the things that therapists struggle with in doing this technique?
Yeah, that's a beautiful question. The first thing is therapists are much too nice, modest, friendly people. Most therapists have schemas of vulnerability and unrelenting standards, a certain inclination to self-sacrifice based on our own schemas, on our own past experiences. We are nice people. We want to be helpful. We want to be friendly. That means if the couple comes to your room and they're energized, they're on their, we call it red leg, their assertive side, they're fighting, and you want to be a modest person, they will walk over you. And the longer you allow them to roll out their fighting pattern, the more they get accustomed to it. This is what I meant when you're sitting in your chair, you continuously reinforce your existing position. You're narrowing down your view. So what we actually teach the therapists is stop them early. Usually, if it's a fighting couple, they start fighting in your session within the first 2 or 3 minutes. And as soon as they unfold their cycle, their fighting cycle, we stop them and say, sorry for interrupting. This is unpolite, I know. But my question is this a typical pattern you find yourself in right now? Is this what happens at home as well? And you, in 90+%, you get a yes. And then you say, okay, if this is the pattern, we can work with it. To get the full picture, let's stand up together now and have a look at this pattern, at the people on these chairs. And then you need to be a little bit dynamic and maybe tip them on the elbow and say, come on, let's try it. And if people hesitate, they rarely hesitate. They usually do it. Why? Because we have a certain amount of authority. They trust us. And it's surprising them. And if you're surprised, you're flexibilized in your pattern. You said, okay, what's going on here? And if you're a friendly, directive person, but you need a healthy assertiveness to pull them a little bit up. And you can tip them at the elbow and say, come on, let's give it a try. Yeah, but what is that good for? Well, I think it's much better if you just give it a try and give me 5 minutes. And after these 5 minutes, you can tell me, or you can decide if it's good or not. So introducing them into this experimental state is very helpful, because this is heart of schema therapy, is doing things different, doing things with people they don't know already. So it's like an exposure to something new, in this case towards themselves. But this is what we teach the client, the therapists, to stop early and with a certain way of asking, giving clients choices, but with a clear idea where we want to go. Ask them for an experiment, give them the choice to judge on what happens. So you don't force them into a view, you give them a choice, but you said, first we do, and then you decide. If you stop now, you don't have the experience. You're deciding on expectations, not on experience. And in schema therapy, we want to do experiments and then we decide. We do it the other way around. So this is on an intellectual level, kind of reasonable. You provide it with a friendly atmosphere, but you show a certain conviction and display a certain power in terms of, hey, come on, this, and people love it.
All right, Eckhart, I love the theory, but let's see this in practice. So how about Ruth? You can play Tom. Are you happy to be a Tom, Ruth? And I'll be Betty. And we've come into your office, Eckhart, and we'd like you to do some work with us, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. So welcome to today's session, Tom and Betty. Thank you for coming. What do you want to work on? What did you bring to the session?
I have a list of things, and I actually
Yeah.
didn't get a chance to talk about all of them last time. So I really want to
Yeah.
make sure we do, because Tom is a constant drain on my life. I mean, he doesn't listen, he doesn't do anything I say. I've said for him many times, the toilet seat does not belong up, it belongs down. So I don't know what is
Yeah.
complicated about that, Tom. You just need to do the things that are very simple. Most people know how to do them. You don't even love me, is what I'm taking from this kind of behavior, because what kind of person cannot even think to themselves, what would my wife want right now? You know, what would she like me to do? You don't even think
Yeah.
about that, do you?
Yeah. Tom, what do you think about it?
I just, yeah, everything's a disappointment. Everything's a disappointment to you. I mean, you don't see my efforts. I'm really, I bought you flowers this week. I've been cooking for you this week. You're telling me you want to talk more. I have been, and I just, it just makes me want to. I know. I just feel like giving up, to be honest. I feel really,
You always give up. That's the problem. I mean, you
Yeah.
just start doing something and then it falls off again. You bought me flowers, but that was, what? The cheap ones at the supermarket, wasn't it? Wasn't really what I want.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
It's no,
Sorry for stopping you right now. I know that's unpolite, but I just want to know, is this a typical pattern you find yourself in? What happens right now in our session?
Well,
Is
yeah.
that how it feels being
Yeah,
at home
because
as well?
he's constantly not doing anything to be
Yeah.
full or show his
Yeah.
up, of course. Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, that's very good. So let's pause here for a second, and to get the full picture and team up a little bit, let's try to stand up now and go into an observer position. And then we kind of take a look at what's going on here from the outside. Okay?
What do you mean
Yeah.
standing up? What,
Yeah,
what?
we just stand up. I can show you. So this is you. Tom and Betty, this is Betty, this is Tom. And could you stand up like we do now and leave the two chairs of you in front of us, below us? So if you work online like that, both of you need the two chairs in your room, like you can see it in my room here. We need these two chairs. Do you have a chair like that?
Got a chair. I don't,
Yeah.
yeah, I've got a chair there. I only
Yeah,
have
and just two chairs.
I mean, I just, Eckhart, I only have one. Could
Yeah,
I move?
it's okay. Yeah, you can picture them standing there. That works too. So we are standing now, and we look down on Tom and Betty on these chairs. Okay. Yeah. And now let's try. So we are observer team now, and Tom and Betty are on the chairs. Yeah. So we are all three the observer team. And we just look at Tom and Betty. Okay. And if we now look at Betty, and Betty, I give you the first chance. If you look at that Betty, what kind of person do you see on that chair talking at the beginning of this session? Can you describe her?
Well, I think she's really disappointed and hurt.
Yeah. Do you see the disappointment? How is she talking? Is she more talking energetically, powerful, convinced, active?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's like, I guess she's being, angry, but
Yeah.
why wouldn't she be? Because she's been hurt
Yeah.
for so long.
Yeah. But sorry, Betty. I don't want to look at the reasons, at the ideas, at the stories. We just look at the behavior in that given moment, on the role Betty takes in that given moment. And what I got is that you said she's angry. That's her emotion inside.
Yeah.
And is she taking a more active, dominant role, or a more cooperative, submissive role, or a detached role? These are the three options people have.
Sorry, there's dominant. So
More
what?
active, dominant, taking the initiative, getting active, trying to get something going in the world, or is it more a cooperative, giving in, submissive role, or is it a detached role? These are
No,
the three behavioral options.
definitely more active and
Yeah,
getting things
exactly.
done. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what I see as well. Tom, do you see this active Betty as well?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
Okay. And again, we call it the two-leg model because these are the polar roles of getting more the active side that we call the red leg is as well, it's an option like being more cooperative, giving in, which we call the blue leg. but we need to balance these two roles. And we are usually more on the activated reddish leg or the more softer cooperative giving in blue leg. And now we all three agree that Betty, when she comes to the session, is more on this activated, what we call red leg.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay. And it's no problem. It's one leg we have. So she just chooses this side. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in the next step, we can now sit down on Tom's chair, all three. So you sit down on Tom's chair, Betty, and on the other chair, you can picture the other chair in front of you, and that's Betty. Okay?
I don't
now,
another chair.
yeah,
Good.
yeah, it doesn't matter. You just put the chair in the other position and picture an empty chair over there.
Okay.
We will close eyes anyway in a minute. Okay?
What are you doing, Eckhart?
So you're sitting on your chair, Tom. You're just witnessing right now. I'm working with Betty because sometimes when we get stuck with a couple, we need to decide to work on one side first and the next session on the other side to get something going. And this is what I'm doing right now. It's like individual therapy with one person in the presence of the partner.
Okay.
That's one way to get over to bypass stuck states, that you focus more on one side to make progress on that side, and then you focus on the other side to make progress on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're all on Tom's chair now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we look at the Betty over there. And Betty, on Tom's chair, I'm asking you now, if you look at this Betty over there, you can see her energy,
Mm-hmm. She's got
her
a lot
wording.
Yeah.
And you said she's angry. So the anger, can you see the anger in her eyes? How she
Yeah.
looks at you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like little arrows?
Yeah, she's furious.
Yeah, she's furious. And she has a tough voice.
Yeah.
Her hands are moving.
Mm-hmm.
Can you feel the energy coming from Betty?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you feel it? And can
Yeah.
you go to your body now? What happens in your body if you're exposed to this energy? Is your chest getting wider or tighter?
A bit tighter, I guess.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to kind of move away or something. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of energy there. And does it give you a powerful feeling or a more weaker feeling?
Weaker, I think, being it coming
Yeah,
out.
very good.
Yeah.
Very good. You can feel it now. And what is your impulse now? Feeling this weak or tight?
I guess I want to sort of look away, or I don't know.
Look away. Turn away. Yeah. And now you can feel it, Betty. And thank you so much for being open to this experiment, to this experience, because this is what you described Tom is doing all the time. He's always turning away. He's not available. He's not present. Yeah, that's what the Betty over there just said a minute ago.
Yeah.
And now you feel the impulse yourself.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't.
Thank you.
I didn't realize. I don't think I.
Yeah. But this is why we're doing it, And I'm so glad that you're so open, so flexible to go to the other side, to feel a little bit more of Tom's side.
Okay.
Okay. And now we can go on. You can go back to your chair, Betty. We go back to the Betty chair. Okay. And now when you're back on your chair, close your eyes again, please. And now, Betty, we heard that in the beginning of the session, there was an angry Betty. Betty was more on the angry leg. Yeah, the red leg.
Yeah.
And now I'm asking you if you see Tom, and we can turn Ruth's chair, Tom's chair away. Can you actually do that, Ruth?
I can push
playing
it.
Tom, that you turn yourself away looking at the wall, because this is what we do in the therapy room to make the detached protector mode, the avoidant mode, the withdrawing mode visible in the room. And Tom now looks at the wall, turns the back on Betty.
So Eckhart's being quite directive here, identifying the two coping modes that the couple get stuck in. So Betty has a more angry bully attack mode, what Eckhart calls the red leg, where she criticizes and attacks Tom. And she uses sarcasm and contempt. You know, she's sort of finding fault with him, trying to, you know, rather than trying to find connection with Tom. And you can hear that the underlying sort of tears in her response show that she has much deeper emotional, important needs, which come from, but because she was emotionally deprived and perhaps was abandoned, she struggles to ask for connection when she wants Tom to come close. But Betty's also using her coping mode to get her connection and attacking instead of inviting. She's already started to see in this role play that when somebody is on the receiving end of her attacking mode, like Tom is, he doesn't want to come close. He wants to move away. So already she's gained some insight and also perhaps some empathy as to how it might feel to be Tom. We've also seen how Eckhart has identified that Tom is more likely to be in, you know, to be in a sort of avoidant and complaining coping mode. So he might avoid the conversations and give in to the demands. But when both people are stuck in their coping modes, they're not connecting on a deeper level. So can Eckhart get to a more vulnerable connection? Let's see.
And Betty, now we close your eyes, but you can see the Tom turning away from you. Can you see that?
Yeah.
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 And now, if he turns away more and more, he might one day leave you. Because leaving you, yeah?
I don't want that.
Yeah. Okay, but first let's feel. Can you picture him walking through the door, down the street, on and on?
I don't want that.
Yeah. But what happens to your body? What do you feel right now? What happens with your chest? It's tighter or wider?
It's tighter and I want to
Yeah.
curl up in a ball.
Yeah. Okay. But now you're connecting with your vulnerable side. Can you feel the difference? This is your vulnerable side now, Betty, because you don't want to lose him.
I don't want to.
Yeah, that's great. And I'm so glad that you're able to show that side as well. In the beginning of the session, you were very much on the red leg, on your angry side. And now we have the vulnerable side in the room too. And now from that vulnerable side, blue leg, talk to Tom. What do you want? What do you need him to do? What do you want him to do?
I just need you to matter to you. I need you to not just ignore me and run away.
Yeah.
Pretend
Because what happens if he's there? If he's close to you, he holds you. What is he offering you if he's there?
Well, I just want him to love me and be there for me.
Yeah. Do you need his presence to feel safer, to feel better?
Yeah. I need him to, like, I've never had anyone like him before, and I don't want to lose him. He's really strong and kind, and
He's maybe your rock in the sea, or he gives his life purpose. He makes it
he
warmer, more lovable. Yeah. Tell him to the face. He can hear you now. Tell him what he means to you.
you're like my rock, because I've never had anyone be like that, and no one's stuck around, and no one's been there for me, and I know I get angry, and I don't know. I don't want to drive you away.
Because I need you at my side. Life is much better with you at my side.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, tell him.
Well, life is better with you by my
Beautiful.
side. Yeah.
Beautiful. How do you feel in your body now? Can you feel it?
I feel a bit calmer, a bit soft.
Yeah. And of course you feel insecure. That's true. And this is why you hate being in that state. It's connected with a certain vulnerability, with an insecurity. Yeah. And you always avoided being there because you learned I have to do it myself. I have to be the tough one. If I'm vulnerable, nobody sees me and nobody cares for me. This is what happened in the past. This is what we call your schemas from childhood.
Yeah.
That's what you learned over life. But now you dare to show your vulnerable side again.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful.
Well, I'm scared that he's not going to listen.
Yeah, of course you're scared, but let's see what happens. We are in an experiment now. Stay with that for a second. And now I'm moving to you, Tom. I'm asking you turned away, you left Betty, and now you heard her talking this way. How does it make you feel in your body, Tom, if Betty talks this way now?
Well, I feel really sad. I don't like hearing her upset.
Yeah. Yeah, it moves you the way she's talking.
No, I know I always want to be with you, Betty, when you're like this. I
Yeah,
really care about you when you're like
yeah,
this.
yeah. And what is your impulse if Betty shifts to her soft side, talks from her vulnerable side, tell her that she needs you, that life is better with you at her side? What is your impulse? Could you picture
Well, I
getting closer?
just wanted to give her a cuddle. Like, it felt really hard to keep my back on her.
Yeah. But I just want to create some preparedness inside
Mm.
of you, some willingness to connect with her. But now you feel you actually want to turn the chair. And we can do that, of course. Yeah. So now you can stand up. Tom, I will turn the chair and and once you stood up and turned around, could you close your eyes again? Tom, wait here for a second. Betty, you said you need Tom by your side, right?
Yeah.
The vulnerable Betty actually express that need. Now
Yeah.
Tom's here. He's available for you. Do you want to get closer to him?
I think so, but I'm scared.
Yeah. Will you try? What happens if you get closer to him with your vulnerable side?
I'm scared he'll
Yeah.
laugh or not. I don't know.
We'll see. Give it a try, but I'm here with you. If something bad happens, I will protect you.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So if you want to get closer, do you just want to hold hands? Now you both should stand up and actually try to get closer. If you're in the same room as a couple, for example, the therapist on the other side of the screen and you in front of one screen, you could actually physically connect, which is more difficult in 3 different spots. But can you picture getting closer now?
That's
Do
too
you?
close.
Hmm?
That's too close. It's too close. What you've
Okay. Yeah. Do you just want to hold hands?
yeah.
Okay, that's good. Holding hands is connection. This is what we call blue leg. This is connection. Okay, now give yourself a second. Now you're connected with Tom. Can you again tell him what you need from him, what you want him to do for you from your blue side?
I really want to have you by my side
Yeah,
and to have you that I matter to you, that I'm
yeah,
important in your life and that you're going to be with
yeah, yeah. Very good. Get aware how you feel in your body now.
me. I feel a bit
Yeah.
jittery.
Yeah. This is a certain uncertainty, but Tom is here. He's holding your hand. He's not leaving you. He is there. You can feel the connection. And can you try to trust showing your vulnerability is more attracting Tom than the reddish Betty we saw in the beginning of the session? Can you realize that? Because now he is here. That's a
Yeah.
starting point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can definitely. It feels softer even in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he is there. He is physically here. Yeah. And if you now compare your body state in the beginning of the session, the body state now, what do you like more?
This one's better.
Sure, huh? Yeah, it's no surprise, but we have to give the blue leg the chance to unfold the power of willingness to connect, the power of connection, the power of trusting is what it takes. If you go to the red leg, you're more on controlling Tom, but controlling pushes Tom away. And if you open up and trust Tom more, open up towards Tom, this is honey for the bees.
Is that true, Tom? Will you really be there?
Is that true, Tom? Yeah, you can respond. Tom,
Yeah,
is
well,
that?
yeah, if when you don't get angry, I and you show me this, this really sweet part. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm here. I'm always here.
yeah. Okay, maybe let's stop here because it's
Okay.
just an exercise, a little demonstration.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we can sit down again.
Well, thank you, Eckhart. I'm curious, just in the way that you played that out, what were the core things that you saw as the shift points for this couple?
Yeah, the shift point is stop the cycle that's spontaneously unfolding in automatic pilot.
Yeah.
Get them to observer mode out of the over-identification with the activated red leg body state. Get an image of that state from the outside. You remember, how does Betty look? What do you see? Because this is what Tom sees. So this is inducing the perspective change from this ego shooter perspective in the automatic pilot to an observer perspective, which is joined because Tom sees the same. You spontaneously said, Ruth, yeah, this is what I see. Yeah, the angry Betty.
Yeah.
And then I ask you to, this is in the standing position, and then I ask you to sit on Tom's side, and this is actually stepping into the other person's shoes on an emotional level, and this activates feelings in your body and an impulse. And you got aware of what you induce in Tom. Whatever you intend to do, this is what you actually induce. So this is completing this perspective change, looking at the effects, not the purposes or the intentions, but on the effects. This is from acceptance commitment therapy. Yeah. And then I asked you, we went back, and then I gave you the image of Tom leaving, and the image of Tom leaving activates your vulnerable side even more. You reacted very quickly. And then we went there. And after you connected with your vulnerable side, I managed you to talk from that vulnerable side to create or activate the connection based on the attachment need and the attachment system. And this had another impact on Tom. So it's all experiential. It's not talking about it, but make it happen in the room. We revealed the effects of the reddish dominant Betty, and then we shifted you in your body to the vulnerable side, and then you talked from the attachment need, and Tom responded based on his emotional reactions. So we only work with the cycle. We don't go with the content. We only work with the pattern. And this makes us safer and help us to gain control on the process. You get lost if you go with the content. What gives us safety is looking at the process, get a joint view on the process, look at the effects, and then figure out, is that what you want to happen, and what do you feel better with?
And Eckhart, I noticed you focus a lot on the dominant partner, and we were just doing
Yeah,
a
but
role.
this is just one exercise. If you go to the website, this schematherapy-roediger.org, and then you have in the module system, there are several modules. I just worked on the externalizer now, which is the dominant Betty. And there's a corresponding module for to empower the anxious Toms by giving them an image, being a powerful person, talking them from that powerful stance, ask for something, offering something, and then we create connection in the complementary way. So there are modules for all these purposes.
Well, Eckhart, we'll be putting those in the show notes for people who want to follow up with your training and those modules. And we really appreciate your time and insight and wisdom today.